We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world. We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Angela Della Morte, issue 1. This is a 4-part miniseries from 2019, published by Red 5 Comics and Stonebot Comics. Script and art by Salvador Sanz, color by Gonzalo Duarte, translation by Dario Tamarchi, lettering by Alter Comics Studio. Alright, so the cover really doesn't tell you a whole lot. It's an okay cover for a generic sort of like, hey, here's some people in space. Well, we are immediately given a little bit of backstory through what looks like a televised speech of some sort, and it's that they found the origin of evil in mankind, and this guy wants to remove it. They call it the gray poison, and they've come up with a way to isolate it and try and remove it, and we find out that's why this woman is on the moon. Her name is Della, and the only thing she's allowed to have with her is this super intelligent simian that is sort of her companion, but when her base is attacked, she has to go to a secret facility that she sees it kind of weirdly. It changes in her mind for some reason, and then she has to force her way in, and there's a whole thing there. And we find out that she is a body positive woman, of course, because this is a modern comic. I don't know if she's supposed to look Asian, but they kind of make her look a little Asian. So there's a chubby Asian chick on the moon, and she's got like a mech that the monkey's working with. It's left off on a cliffhanger ending, sort of. This was a strange book. It was very weird to read. Kind of liked it. It reminded me of heavy metal stories from like the 80s. The art style has a real European look. Because it's translated, I assume it is from France or somewhere in Europe, but it definitely has a very European art style. So if you like that kind of art from old heavy metal, stuff like that, you'll really like this, because it has that very, very Euro style of drawing people especially. And I think the art is solid for the type it's in, and I don't normally love that style of art because people tend to look a little weird and abstract to me. It makes me think they're kind of like not people but like creepy aliens, but it works. It's really talented work for what it is, for the style that it's in rather. So if you like that, you're gonna really like this. The story is very fast paced. It has a sort of quick flow to it like an anime would or a manga, and a lot of European storytelling is kind of the same way from my experience with it. So I think that really works for it in this case, and I think this is going to be an interesting miniseries. It's not going to be for everyone though. Like I said, these storytelling techniques are different than American comics and European comics, so some of the pacing may seem a little weird or a little contrived, and the way that the story is told is very abrupt. It kind of dumbs it down a little bit, and instead of showing you get exposition to explain things, which is fine. I think it treats the reader like they're kind of stupid sometimes, and I find that kind of annoying. But if you're a real big anime person, though I think that narrative is the same as what you see in a lot of animes, I just don't like that storytelling method, but a lot of people do. So if you like animes, you'll probably like the way this is paced and written. So that being said, I will recommend it. I thought it was pretty good. It's not really $4 good. This is going to end up in a bargain bin somewhere, but it is worth reading. I thought it was pretty interesting, and the concept seems pretty fun. So it could be a real good book if they keep up the pace and keep with some interesting storytelling. It is kind of contrived, but it is interesting enough that it caught my attention, and I'm planning on picking up other issues. So that being said, that's just my opinion on it. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you want to help the channel in other ways, links are in the description and on the About page. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.
We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Angela Della Morte, issue 2 of 4. This is from Red 5 Comics in association with Stonebot Comics. Script and art by Salvador Sanz, color by Gonzalo Duarte, translation by Dario Tamarchi, lettering by Alter Comics Studio, revisions by Sarah Lindsay, Leandro Paolini, Summers, and Chris Ortega. Okay, so the big canister thing that was creating some consternation consternation last issue turns out to be labeled the Devil, and it might contain something rather sinister, and that's not going to play out well for all involved. Now, Zebra, who's the monkey apparently, has detected that there are people coming in, and that's not good because these are not very nice people, and they are coming in mechs armed. Our protagonist gets a message from the people that are supposed to be rescuing her saying they got delayed and to protect the devil canister at all costs. So these mechs come in to do massive damage, and things go horribly wrong for Della and Zebra. There's a really grim cliffhanger ending, and it was pretty powerful stuff, actually. It was really good storytelling. The action scenes are pretty solid. I really like that monkey. He should be the star of this book. But overall, the monkey is the smartest person in the room, and everybody else is up to no good or is an idiot. And bad guys seem to know what they're doing. So yeah, this woman seems to have gotten herself in quite the predicament, and she doesn't seem to be a particularly good person at heart because of some of the things we find out later. But overall, fascinating story so far. I'm real intrigued to see where issue 3 goes. So this is a solid recommendation. I do like the Euro art style. It's generally not my thing, but it does work really well here. And it's very clean, crisp art style with vibrant colors, really good perspective shots on a lot of these. Salvador Sands really does seem to understand the comic book medium and probably should be doing a lot more work. So I'm going to recommend this. I thought it was pretty interesting. The premise is a little goofy based on what I saw the first issue, but it's actually a little bit more refined here. They're making it slightly more nuanced, and there's a lot more action, so I'm okay with it. It's got the usual suspension of disbelief because the premise is kind of goofy, very anime oriented, but it is pretty fun, and it's producing a pretty interesting story so far. So we'll see how it plays out with next issue, but until then, this is a recommend. I don't know if it's worth $4, but I didn't feel cheated for my money. That being said, that's just my opinion. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and consider subscribing so you don't miss future reviews. If you want to help the channel in other ways, links are in the description and on the About page. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.
We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello, and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Angela Della Morte, issue 3. This is the third part of a 4-part miniseries from Red 5 Comics and Stonebot Comics. Script and art by Salvador Sands, color by Gonzalo Duarte, translation by Dario Timaraki, lettering by Alter Comics Studios, revisions. Della's been captured, and she is being held in this underground facility. There's a rescue attempt that goes horribly wrong. This poor Chinese guy that's trying to save her is left in a very precarious situation. We learn a little bit about Zebra, that he actually might be like a human in a monkey's body. That was pretty interesting, and we learned kind of what the plan here is for the bad guys. And Della is definitely acting a little kooky, and that is kind of explained as you go. Now, this is a great issue. I thought this was actually the best issue. It's very action-packed. The art is very clean. I like the way the guy draws the mechs. I think they look really cool. He does vehicles really well, too. This guy has a lot of talent. I wish he was doing some American superhero books. I'm not a giant fan of some of the body positivity elements, but he does a really good job with drawing vehicles and mechs and people and buildings and even animals. Zebra's awesome. He's the best character in this book. But yeah, I'm more and more impressed with this. I normally don't have such a love of European style. I don't mind it, but it's generally just not my thing. I'm okay with it. I don't really seek it out. But this guy's got a lot of talent, and I would actually like to see what he could do with a superhero title. So maybe not writing it, but definitely doing the art for it. If you like Euro style art, this is definitely going to be for you. It's really solid work, and the story's interesting, but I think it really needed a little more detailing early on, because I think some people are going to get kind of lost before issue 3 or just find the premise a bit thin. But once you get going with it, it's pretty interesting. So I'm real interested to see where this wraps up at, but I liked it. It's a pretty fun story so far. So I'll recommend this, all 3 issues. This is easily the best one. I wouldn't jump in here because it'll make 0 sense if you jump in here, but worth checking out. That's just my opinion though. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and consider subscribing so you don't miss future reviews. If you want to help the channel in other ways, links to my Patreon and Streamlabs are in the description and on the About page. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.
We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Angela Della Morte, issue 4 from Stonebot and Red 5. This is written and drawn by Salvador Sanz, color by Gonzalo Duarte, translation by Dario Tamarchi, lettering by Alter Comics Studios, revisions by Leandro Pellini, Summers, and Chris Ortega. Alright, things come to a head as Zebra is left on his own. We learn a lot of secrets about Zebra in this issue, which is really cool, but he's probably the most in-depth character in this miniseries, and I liked him the best because I think he's interesting because of what they tell us. And Angela's having all kinds of problems. These guys come to get her, and we learn what they're really using her for. It's pretty dark too, but this is really very much a European kind of ending. If you follow a lot of European movies, you might know what I'm talking about, but saying too much would give away the little twist ending. It goes in a direction I expected. Once I realized this was a Euro comic, I kind of figured out what they were trying to do with it, and they had like to do these little twists with European work, and this is no exception. It's an interesting story. I would read the sequel, but a lot of people are going to feel very unsatisfied with the ending here, especially because there are elements of the miniseries that are not explained that probably should have been, but in a very European style, they kind of leave it to your imagination or just assume that you're going to infer something that may or may not be there. The art is very good, and there's some really weird elements in here. The way the bad guys talk and the way some of them look is pretty creepy, but I think that this will hold up better if there is a sequel that explains a little bit more and adds a little more depth to it and adds more to the universe of it. So I will recommend the miniseries because it is very odd and very unique and has a very bizarre kind of story, and I think that works. I honestly think it should have stayed in outer space, but I really like Zebra. I'd like to see more of that character, and I think there's a lot of potential here for a series of books if there isn't one already, which it wouldn't surprise me if there were several books to this. And this really feels like it was a graphic novel chopped up into 4 issues, but it works really well here. So I had a lot of fun with this miniseries. I thought it had some really interesting ideas that need to be explored a little better and explained a little bit more for your average normie audience, especially because it is translated from another language. You do lose a little bit in translation, but like I said, I enjoyed it. I think the art is really well done. If you like Euro style art, you will definitely like this, and I do hope they bring over more of this artist's work. The storyline, like I said, is interesting. I would like to see a sequel, so if you get a chance to pick this up, definitely do it. I think it was worth checking out, and I didn't have a problem with the price point, so if it comes out in trade paperback, I'll probably pick it up, and hopefully it will, because I think a lot of people are going to miss out on something as unique as this that has a lot of potential, and anime fans will probably get more out of this than your average like superhero fan would. It has more of an anime feel to it, and I like Zebra. I thought he was adorable. But that's just my take. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing so you don't miss future reviews. If you want to help the channel in other ways, links are in the description and on the about page. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.